Hey team, welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm stoked to see you. In this video, I want to give you a breakdown of how I have my vault room set up. Certainly not a sponsored plug, but if you are ever in Blairsville, Georgia, make sure you go to the Sawmill. Place is absolutely phenomenal. Greatest staff, greatest chow, and extremely well priced. Oh, good stuff. And great freaking coffee cup there. So I've talked about it in the past. I'm a huge advocate of having some degrees of separation with your assets and your supplies. And I'm really fortunate here for the first time in my life to have a couple outbuildings. Here we are back in the shop, and I've resisted making this video, even though I've had a lot of time and energy in putting this thing together, throwing walls up and doing all the drywall and hanging stuff up and getting this hold-up display set up behind me. And I talked to them a couple times, like, man, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get something worked up, and I just never have, honestly, because the space is this is a used space, right? It is never squared away, ever. You know, things are constantly coming and going, and messes are getting made, and freaking dogs are chewing on shit, and just all kinds of stuff, right? This is not, although I use this as a studio, this is so much more than that. But what I kind of have broken down in here, and we'll just kind of do a little walkabout with the daylight on. I use my camera. But I kind of had built this wall, and I sacrificed a little bit of the shop in order to do this, but I thought it would be good. I do still need to hang up an actual door. One of these days I'll get to that. But as soon as I come in off to the right, I have a couple racks set up. On the one on the right now, it used to have all of my ammunition and comms gear. Now it's primarily my comm station, and it's a hot garbage mess. The one on the left is really kind of a place for me to put YouTube and camera gear and all kinds of other junk. Coming around, sweeping in on that back wall, I have a clothing rack where I hang a lot of my blouses on, and one of my routers up on the top. And then moving on to that hold-up display setup. This thing is absolutely phenomenal, man. I have all kinds of racks and storage set up, and I have almost all my firearms in here. And it's so modular that it's easy to make changes. And one of the best things about this thing is that it's tough. Like, these aren't empty; they're full. And it just takes the abuse, and it asks for more. I think it's into some pretty crazy stuff. But it is nice to be able to organize and separate some of the gear like this. Not to mention it looks badass. Randall Gruntproof said it kind of looks like Batman, but we don't care what he says, because I know he wants one too. Back wall behind me, some old lumber I had reclaimed to use that. A couple backpacks. I got my guitar hanging up. Still got some electrical work to do, but whatever. And then sweeping around towards what's off to my right, your left. A couple more racks, and it's organized by item as well, category. I got chow up on the top. Got some admin. Got some medical, got some wire or light and hygiene. Got some NBC gear over here, man. I got directly in front of me, behind you. I got some tents, more tents than I can shake a stick at. Some buckets for cordage, tarps, cooking gear, whole 9 yards. I got tough boxes here. I got lights. I got tough boxes out there. I got another storage rack out in the shop that has even more stuff. And this is just, I mean, this is my space. I'm super, I feel very grateful and humbled and blessed to be able to not just have everything crammed into an 8x8 outshed in tough boxes. Like, you know, I had to live for years. I can actually see the stuff, right? I can actually see it. I can use it. I can take it off. I can go fire. I can come back. I can clean. I can put back up. And everything is nice and organized for the most part. I mostly know where everything's at. And I'm pretty happy about where I'm at. I don't want to say the end state because there's going to be changes. It's just a matter of what do I want to do and how do what I would love to do, honestly, is actually make a studio and get out of this space and not use this for the studio. But, you know, it all kind of is what it is. And I'm certainly not complaining. I'm stoked. What do you use to organize your kit? You know, we all are in different stages of our lives. We live in different localities. Some of us are probably stuck in apartment complexes and trying to figure this thing out called life. If you would leave a comment down below that said maybe kind of that, look, man, I live in a one-bedroom apartment. I live in a 3-bed, 2-bath, and I got 4 kids. Or I have whatever your setup is, and maybe just a little nugget of how you store and organize your stuff. I think that value added there is far outweighs anything talked about in this video, because this, you know, for some is just, it's for show. It is show. It's YouTube. He has almost 100,000 subscribers. Everything he says has to be perfect. I'm a frickin' dude, just like you guys are. But when people read comments, you know, they don't see lights and cameras and stuff. They just see a dude leaving a comment. And only you know if you're telling the truth or not. So give us some nuggets. I'm just going to help everybody else. It's going to help me as well, as we all continue to master our craft and develop our tactical virtue. Team, that's what this channel is all about. If you've enjoyed this content so far, I'm going to challenge you to consider not liking the video, not subscribing to the channel. Actually, I'm going to submit to do a couple things. One, consider purchasing the SHTF Field Manual. I think it's a badass book. It's available on Amazon. It's also available on my channel if you want to sign, or on my website if you want a signed copy. But it is the #1 way to support the channel. In addition to, you know, considering becoming a channel member, you get exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. You get to see a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of conversations that we don't have in the public forum happen kind of there, and it's another deeper point of connection between myself and those who generously support what it is that we're doing here. Team, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you leave some comments down below, and we will keep this conversation rolling. As always, until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, you visit the sawmill place, and you stay stoked. Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date with future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.
I know you're out there! Come to my voice!